Patreon, going strong. If you want to go over there and join in on the fun, we got 3 tiers on Canadian dollars. First tier is $3 a month, where you get these episodes ad free. You also get AMAs once a month, or learn about me episodes once a month. And then on the second tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything from the first tier, as well as coverage of a reality show of yesteryear. That's right now Jersey Shore, currently in season 3. You can also go to the main feed, where there will be the first episode of every season released there. So you can try that before you head over to the Patreon. And then on the third tier, you get everything from the first 2 tiers, as well as coverage from a true crime documentary. We got the backlog of Ashley Madison documentary, Man with 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, Lacey Peterson, and again, all those episodes for the first episode of each is in the main feed, so you can try that before you head over. So if you are interested, you can head over to patreon.com/realityt times 2, and you can sign up for whichever tier you feel for. Again, you can try before you buy, which basically means you can try any tier for a week before committing to it. Even if you are on other tier, if you are on tier 1 or the first tier and you want to go over to the second tier, you could still try that second tier for a week before committing to the upgrade. So again, that is at patreon.com/realityt times 2. And of course, the link is in the show notes, website, social media accounts. It's all available there. This episode is ad-free on the Patreon. So if you want to partake in that, you can head on over to patreon.com/realityt times 2. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Danica, and today we're going to be jumping in with Love is Blind, episode 3. So let's just jump into the reason that we're here. That's episode 3. So we left off with the doors opening with Jordan and Amber. The doors, like I said, they open and silence. And they're walking towards each other and like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. They're not into each other. And he says that she's beautiful. But it is silence on her end. And I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. She's not into him, but she does hug him, and she accepts the ring, and she tells him she likes what she sees. Oh, okay. She says that he's handsome. She says that she loves his smile and his eyes light up. It's sweet. They're sweet. There with them. We have this new girl. Her name is Brittany. I think she's adorable. She doesn't like wearing rings. She bought one on Shein to practice, and she bought a wedding dress on sale, so there's no choice. She will be getting married. Listen. Why would you do that? Why would you go off and buy a wedding dress without knowing whether or not you're getting married? Why would you do that? I feel like it's a bad omen. And then not only that, you're getting a free dress on the show. Why would you go buy a next one? The hell is happening here? Anyways, she's on a date with Devonta. Or Devontae. Is it Devontae? It's Devontae. Devonta. I should call him Devonta. She's a labor and delivery nurse, and she absolutely loves it. She likes to dance to wobble baby, wobble baby, wobble baby, wobble baby. And something about like he's like my wife or something, can't leave me until I'm dead, or something like that. Anyways, jokes, I think. But he says, I got pulled by a production who told him that his grandpa had died while he's been there. So he says, so if I stay here, it has to be worth it, which totally, yeah. Personally, I'd be gone. Like, what? She says, if you gotta go, I understand. But he says, I talked to my brother and he would want me here. So I'm still here. I'm still going strong. I'm still standing. Then we have Alex and Ashley, y'all. Whoa. Alex is hot. Alex is trouble. He played a soccer, I think, and he had to stop because he had 4 surgeries on his leg. Yeah, I think he's had some things torn. Not like the song. Yeah, not like the song. So when everyone was being drafted to their respective soccer teams, he was sitting on the, it says couch, but I think he was there with his leg in a cast. And he says, I was supposed to be top 5 pick. He was like the 23rd pick, which it's fine, but like it's not top 5, you know? But his friends, he says, once they were picked, they didn't stay or wait for his name to be picked. They didn't offer any support. They just duped. And he's like, guess we ain't as close as I thought. This guy's so dramatic. After his 4th surgery, he was told that he will never play again. Oh, sad. In the quarters, Kevin is talking to the guys and is saying, that was tough. She goes to her side and she's like, I know my worth and I'm out. Kia does go to Tyler to like try to hook her, but Tyler is like, I can't do this right now. I can't do this right now because I know you the side chick, so I can't do this right now. Kia's like, I know what I signed up for. And so don't play victim. Thank you. Thank you, Kia. Very well said. She says his connection is stronger with her. Um, or she's telling people like he said that his relationship is connection stronger with her, with Kia. And like, well, did he actually say those words? That actually, yes, he fucking did. He did, and then he backpedaled. But he, well, actually, no. Technically, that was with Kia, right? Okay, right. This is Tyler. So he said it with Kia. That his connection with Tyler was stronger. Right. Anyways. So anyway, they said, like, did he actually, like, say that? No, but kind of. No, but kind of. No, but kind of. Wow, that will hold up in the court law, wouldn't it? Kind of. Production says, why not give this a chance? You're fleeing like you do in your past. You're just running. So let's try again. Redo. Hold up. Redo. So she goes back into the pod because redo. He apologizes. I was not picking her. I was only expressing my feelings. And she says, for me to accept a proposal is to have no distraction from someone else. Basically, what that means, you better make me your girlfriend before I'm a fiance. So, great. He ain't gonna do it though. I can tell you that. But for now, they seem to be fine. Back at the quarters, Tyler apologizes to Kia for acting a fool. It's fine. Bree's telling us her connections with Connor and Chris. Those are her 2 connections. She's on a date with Chris, and I actually love their energy together. But we'll get to that. She says Connor is a slower burn. There's nothing wrong with slower burn. Slower burns win the race. Do we not all read towards in the hair? You know what I mean? Slow and steady wins the race. But anyway. Chris also has a connection with Jessica. So he has Bree and Jessica. He says, Bree is my top, but Jessica's more open with her emotions. But then he says, Jessica's 38, so there's years here. Not much, whatever. But age isn't really a factor, even though Bree is apparently younger. So Chris is on his date with Jessica, and Jessica is zeroing on him. He says, since day 2, I have had number 1. Hi everyone. So I have something new for you. This is Noble Dutch. So, just a quick little thing about them. They make high quality, plant-based, and convenient food that fuel your body and fits your routine. Whether you're juggling work, family, fitness, or personal goals, they make sure that you always have access to wholesome, gluten-free meals that, of course, you can trust. So, they have basically meals that you can get that are tasty, healthy, and ready in just 8 minutes. And again, it's vegetarian, it's gluten-free, and it's packed with 11 grams of protein. Yes, please. They have some meals, for example, like the instant jasmine rice and tomato sauce. And again, that's ready in 8 minutes. And it comes in 12 bowls, a carton, and it contains ingredients like jasmine rice, tomato sauce, chili oil, soya chunks, carrot and peas, and a spoon in case you need that as well. So basically, it's quick and easy. You would pour that jasmine rice and the carrots and those peas into a bowl, and then you would add boiling water up to the marked line inside of that bowl, close the lid, and let it sit for 8 minutes. And then you would open, add the needed amount of tomato sauce and chili oil into that bowl, stir, and enjoy. Very simple, very easy. So, you can earn Dunch points with every meal. You can basically get a point per dollar that you spend. You can get 60 free birthday Dunch points, and you can get 50 points per referral when you refer a friend as well. And that all kind of adds up. So if you're interested in that and you want to take part in this, you can head over to my link that helps support not only Noble Dunch, but also supports the podcast. And that is going to nobledunch.com/HEKVNLEC. And that link will also be in the show notes. So, then he proposes and she says yes. She then says that was so quick. Like, what was quick? The proposal itself, or how long it took for him to propose? What was quick? This whole process is quick, honey. But that's the last time you will say that, he says. Ugh. Ugh. So we have Connor and Emma, and he's wearing gray sweatpants, y'all. We know it. We love it as women and men. As she says, and I quote, "Women's kryptonite." He says, "I don't get why. What's the big deal with sweatpants?" She tells him, "Baby boy, you don't need to know. It's fine." Connor, here's why. Because we can see the imprint of your dick. And it's hot. Whatever. Anyways, so he says we are going to be attracted to each other. Our kids will be cute. And she says, "Yeah, but you know my stance on kids." Yes, he does, but he says it gets frustrating because he knows they will be great parents. You may think, listen, you may think you might be great parents, but it doesn't change the fact that she doesn't want to be a mother. You know what I mean? He says my number one right now is Emma, but Brie does make me laugh. So he's on the date with her now. He says that he told his parents 2 weeks before that he was going to be on Love is Blind. His dad apparently binge watched the show and told him, you can't see them, right? Uh-huh. Hence the show being called Love is Blind. They go to your house, right? Uh-huh. Yeah, I've seen the show, Dad. Is it clean? That's a dad. What about the garage? Then Connor talks about his parents. He clearly adores them very much. He looks up to them. He's getting emotional while he's talking about them, and it's very sweet. And Bree says, "I'm dating someone else, but I only think about you." And he says that he feels the same about his connection. So they're going to end their other connections after he decided Emma was his number one. He says, "You drive me nuts." What? I'm perfect. He says, "No, you're not." What? He says, "You're my perfect." Mm, that's so sweet. Okay. So we have a reveal with Ashley and Alex. Everyone says, "I'm a Barbie in a Barbie world, but I want to find my Ken." My Ken to my Barbie. Um, so my true crime mind literally goes to a cynical ass place. Because when I think Ken and Barbie, I think Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka, but that's okay. Anyways, Alex says physical is important, but it's secondary. Is it? Is it? Okay. The looks does appear to be important to her as well. I don't know. He's, I think she said, I don't know, he is like, athletes don't always treat women great or something like that. He's like, I got a great shell. Okay, confident much. But the good shell doesn't mean I am a good person. Wait, what? What? So you're not a good person? The fuck is happening right now? The doors open and they are into each other a lot, y'all. He says if she wasn't attractive, it wouldn't matter to me anymore anyways. Sure, Jan. You say that now. There's definitely a strong sexual connection with them. Y'all, we're going to see more of that later on. Bree's with Chris, and she tells him, I want to focus on my other connection. And he says, honestly, that's fine, because I was actually going to have the same conversation with you. So we're on the same page here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Anyway, I think Emma is thinking Connor is her number one. So this isn't going to go good. Connor's with Emma, and we're about 2 days away from, I say D-Day, aka Decision Day. Essentially, though, that is what it is. She tells him, I want you to explore your connections, but you are my number one. Yikes. He says, things can change. And she says, my second connection was good, but I feel like your connection is stronger elsewhere. Where's your head at? And he says, I feel like I do have a stronger connection elsewhere, but I also haven't decided anything. And she says, I told you what I want, but I think you need to do the same. Because she knows, don't beat around the bush. Don't be a Kevin. Just say what you gotta say. He is definitely struggle busing. And we end the episode with him saying, fuck. But anyways, that's it for this episode, y'all. That's it for episode 3. We'll be back with another episode 4. Until then, y'all, that is it for me. That's it for this episode. If you liked what you heard, bear with me because I have not done an outro for the podcast in quite some time. So bear with me here. So if you liked what you heard, you can go to any of your favorite podcast apps. You can follow, make sure you don't miss a single episode. And you can also rate the podcast at either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It'd be greatly appreciated. As a reminder, any 5-star ratings that are given to the podcast or any comments that are given to the podcast will be read on the podcast, which I have done in the past. If you want to connect with the podcast through social media, you can find me at Facebook and Instagram at realityt2. You can also find me at Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at realityt2pod. I believe you can email me at realityt2 at hotmail.com, and you can have any inquiries, anything like that, any ideas, any shows or episodes you want me to cover, you can definitely do that over there. And I am going back to our old website, and that is at solo.to/reality tea times two. There you can get any of the links to anything that I didn't mention here, any of the socials, website, email, all of that. It's all there for you. And we also have a new thing there where you can help support the podcast as well. It's called a tip jar. And you could tip whatever your heart's desire if you want to support the podcast, but don't want to necessarily support the podcast in going to Patreon, for example, or any of the links in any of the advertisements. You can do it there. But since we're on the topic of Patreon, you can head on over to patreon.com/reality tea times two, where there you can get access to even more than what I do here. There are 3 different tiers where you can get these shows ad free, as well as our next tier up where you would get another reality show that's being covered. So, we have Jersey Shore that's been getting covered. That's still being covered currently at the time of recording of this outro, but the future is bright with what's to come in the future, which I will be discussing, or I have discussed. I don't even know. And then also our next tier is a true crime tier as well. So you can definitely head over for that. But that is basically it. I will also just quickly mention here too, if you're interested in a different take of a podcast that I'm a part of, we do things a little differently. You can head on over to Next Take Podcast, where I usually drop bonus episodes here on this feed, but there you get a lot more. And that podcast is making changes. We're growing, doing new things, but you can definitely head on over there if you want to just hear a little bit different than what I do over here. So you can find that podcast over at our website, solo.to/next take podcast. And there we'll have all the links to your desire that will link you to any of your favorite podcast apps or YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of it. Social medias, it's all over there. But of course, you can still find that podcast at any of your favorite podcast apps. But that is it for this episode. We'll see you next time with another episode. Bye, everybody.